she told her friends. He's lucky I even talked to him. I've got guys lined up right in front of me at dinner. I just smiled, paid my bill, and left. The next day, every guy she'd been flirting with got screenshots of her group chat calling them desperate losers. I, 32M, sat across from her at dinner, watching her lean into her phone while her friends laughed around the table. We'd been dating for 8 months, and lately, every gathering felt like performance art where I played the supporting role nobody cared about. The restaurant was packed that Friday night. Her 3 closest friends had joined us, and I'd made the reservation weeks ago, thinking it would be nice to all get together. I was wrong. She barely looked up when the waiter brought our appetizers. Her fingers moved across her screen, and she giggled at something, then showed it to the friend sitting next to her. They both laughed. I asked if everything was okay, and she waved me off, saying it was just something funny online. Halfway through the main course, her friend across from me asked how work was going. I started explaining a project I'd been leading, but before I could finish 2 sentences, my girlfriend cut me off. She announced to the table that her ex had messaged her again. Could you believe it? Like she hadn't made it clear they were done. Her friends immediately jumped in with questions and commentary. I went back to my pasta. Then it happened. Her friend to my left, the one who never really liked me, made some comment about guys not knowing when to quit. My girlfriend laughed and said something that made my blood stop. She told them all that I was lucky she even talked to me, that she had guys lined up if she wanted. She said it casually, like commenting on the weather, while cutting into her salmon. Her friends laughed. One of them said something about keeping your options open. Another one nodded knowingly. I looked at her. She glanced at me and smirked, like I should find it funny too, like it was just girl talk and I shouldn't be sensitive about it. I smiled, put my fork down, signaled for the waiter, and asked for my check separately. She asked what I was doing, and I told her I was just heading out early, had an early morning. Her face shifted slightly, maybe realizing she'd pushed too far, but she recovered quickly and shrugged. Her friends exchanged glances. I paid my portion, left a generous tip, and walked out of that restaurant without looking back. The drive home felt surreal. 8 months of wondering why I always felt like I wasn't enough, why she always seemed to be texting someone else, why every conversation felt like I was fighting for attention. Now I knew. I wasn't her boyfriend. I was her placeholder. I got home and sat in my apartment, staring at my phone. Part of me wanted to text her, to ask why she'd say something like that in front of me. But I already knew the answer. Because she didn't respect me. Because she thought I'd just take it. I opened my laptop instead. She'd left herself logged into her messaging app on my computer weeks ago when she'd used it to show me some photos. I'd never thought to check it before. Never had a reason to. But tonight, I had every reason. The group chat with her friends was easy to find. I scrolled up, reading through weeks of messages. My stomach turned with each screen. There were messages about me. How I was safe but boring. How I worshipped the ground she walked on. And it was kind of pathetic but useful. How she kept me around because I treated her well, but she was definitely keeping her options open. Then I found the other messages. The ones about the guys she'd been flirting with. There was the guy from her gym. She'd been messaging him for 3 months, sending photos, making plans to grab drinks. In the group chat, she called him a desperate loser who thinks he has a chance. There were screenshots of his messages to her, where he'd opened up about his divorce and how much he enjoyed talking to her. Her friends had laughed at him. They'd made jokes about how eager he was. There was the guy from her office. She'd been having lunch with him regularly. He'd apparently told her he was interested in something serious. In the group chat, she said he was trying way too hard and was totally obsessed with her. She called him pathetic for bringing her coffee every morning. More screenshots. More jokes. There was the guy she'd matched with on a dating app while we were together. He'd been messaging her every day, clearly thinking they were building something. She'd told her friends he was so thirsty it's embarrassing, and she was just keeping him on the hook for fun. For different guys. All of them thinking they were connecting with someone genuine. All of them being mocked behind their backs. All of them called desperate losers while she strung them along. I took screenshots of everything. The messages about them. The screenshots she'd shared of their conversations. Every cruel comment. Every joke at their expense. Then I logged out and sat there for a long time, thinking about what kind of person does this. What kind of person keeps someone around just to feel superior? What kind of person mocks people for being vulnerable? She texted me around midnight. Asked if I was mad about dinner. Said her friends were just joking around and I shouldn't take it seriously. Said she'd make it up to me. I didn't respond. The next morning, I created burner accounts. Found each of the guys on social media. It wasn't hard. She'd talked about them enough in the group chat that I knew their names, where they worked, where they went. I sent each of them the same message. Told them I'd stumbled across something they should see. Told them I wasn't trying to start drama, but they deserved to know what was being said about them. Attached the screenshots. Then I blocked her number. Blocked her on everything. 8 months of my life with someone who saw me as a joke, and I was done. Update 1. The fallout started within hours. The gym guy was the first to respond. He thanked me for letting him know and said he felt like an idiot. Said he'd actually thought they had something real developing. He'd been planning to ask her out officially. I felt bad for him, but better he knew now than later. The office guy messaged back faster than I expected. He said he'd already confronted her at work that morning. Apparently, she'd gone pale when he showed her the screenshots and tried to say they were fake, that someone was trying to sabotage her. He told her he'd compared the screenshots to their actual message history, and everything matched word for word. He said he'd already told their manager he wouldn't be working on any more projects with her and requested to be moved to a different team. The dating app guy sent me a 3-paragraph message about how he'd been through a bad breakup last year and thought he was finally ready to trust someone again. Reading what she'd really thought about him had set him back, but he appreciated knowing the truth. He said he'd reported her profile and blocked her. The 4th guy didn't respond to me, but I saw later that he'd left a comment on one of her social media posts. Just said, "Desperate loser? Huh?" with a screenshot attached. She deleted the post within minutes, but people had already seen it. My phone started blowing up that afternoon with calls from her number. I didn't answer. She left voicemails. The first few were angry, saying I'd had no right to go through her messages, that I'd betrayed her privacy, that I was psychotic for doing this. The later ones were different. Crying. Saying she didn't mean any of it. Saying her friends brought out the worst in her. Saying we could work through this. I deleted them all without listening to them fully. Her friends started reaching out too. The one who'd never liked me sent a message calling me a vindictive asshole. Said I'd ruined her reputation over a joke. Said she hoped I was proud of myself. I blocked her. Another friend, the one who'd seemed nicer during dinners, sent a more measured message. Said what my girlfriend did was wrong, but what I did was worse. Said I could have just broken up with her quietly instead of destroying her social life. Said she hoped I could live with myself. I could live with myself just fine. Update 2. A week went by. I focused on work, hit the gym harder than usual, spent time with my actual friends. People who didn't make me feel like I had to earn basic respect. Then I got a message from someone I didn't know. A woman. She said she was friends with my ex and wanted to talk to me about what happened. I almost ignored it, but something made me read the full message. She said she'd heard the story from my ex's perspective first, about how her psycho boyfriend had invaded her privacy and tried to ruin her life. But then she'd seen the screenshots that had leaked online, and she'd started asking questions. She wanted to know my side. I told her there wasn't much to tell. I'd been with someone who treated me like I was lucky to be tolerated. I'd found out she was doing the same thing to other guys. I'd let those guys know what was being said about them. That was it. She asked if I felt guilty. I thought about it. Did I feel guilty? For guys had their feelings hurt by learning the truth. My ex had lost some friends, and her reputation had taken a hit. But how many more guys would she have done this to? How much longer would I have stayed, getting smaller and smaller, thinking I was the problem? I told her no. I didn't feel guilty. She said she understood. Then she told me something interesting. Apparently, my ex had been doing this for years. Different boyfriends, different guys on the side, same pattern. This woman had watched it happen with the boyfriend before me. She'd said something to my ex about it back then, and my ex had cut her off for a few months before slowly letting her back into her life. She said she should have warned me when we first started dating, and she was sorry she hadn't. But she wanted me to know that what I'd done had actually helped her realize she needed better friends. She'd stopped talking to my ex entirely after seeing how she'd treated everyone involved. We talked for a while. She gave me more context about my ex's history, patterns I recognized now that I was out of it. By the end of the conversation, I felt validated in a way I hadn't expected to. Update 3. It's been 6 weeks now. Life has settled into something that feels normal again, or maybe normal for the first time in 8 months. I ran into my ex 2 weeks ago. Grocery store. We both saw each other at the same time, and there was that split second where you decide whether to acknowledge someone or pretend you didn't see them. She walked over. Looked different. Tired. She asked if we could talk. just for a minute. I told her we could talk right there if she needed to say something. She apologized. Said she'd been doing a lot of thinking and realized how badly she'd treated me. Said she understood why I'd done what I did. Said she didn't expect me to forgive her, but she wanted me to know she was working on herself. I nodded. Asked if there was anything else. She looked like she wanted to say more, but instead she just shook her head and walked away. I finished my shopping and went home. Didn't think about the encounter much after that. The gym guy reached out last week. Said he'd started seeing someone new, someone who actually respected him, and he wanted to thank me again for the wake-up call. Said it had hurt at the time, but probably saved him from wasting years on the wrong person. The office guy apparently got promoted. Someone who still works at that company told me he's doing great and seems much happier after moving teams. I don't know what happened to the other two guys, but I hope they're doing okay. As for me, I'm dating someone new. Met her through a friend 3 weeks ago. We've been on 4 dates, and the difference is stark. She looks at me when I talk. She introduces me to her friends with genuine enthusiasm. She doesn't make me feel like I'm competing for her attention. Last night, we were at dinner with her friends, and one of them made a joke at my expense. Nothing major, just the kind of ribbing friends do. Before I could respond, my new girlfriend shut it down. Told her friend that wasn't cool, and she didn't appreciate jokes like that about people she cared about. Such a small thing, but it meant everything. I thought about my ex sitting at that other restaurant 8 months ago, telling her friends I was lucky she talked to me, and I realized something. She'd been right about one thing. I was lucky. Lucky that she showed me who she was. Lucky that I had the self-respect to walk away. Lucky that I didn't waste any more time on someone who saw me as a punchline. People have asked me if I regret what I did, if I think I went too far. The answer is still no. Those guys deserve to know the truth. I deserve to know the truth. And sometimes the truth burns everything down, but that's okay. Sometimes you need to burn things down to see what's worth rebuilding. I'm rebuilding now, and it feels good. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family who might enjoy it too. Your support means a lot. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or story ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.